You know what time it is, boys and girls? Time to quell some autism. But either way, I hope everybody had a wonderful, fantastic Merry Christmas. But hey, let's go ahead and dive right into this Guild War. Hey, lol, 20 seconds in and we've already killed the Summertime Iseria. Because I don't know about you, if I'm fighting a Rand Summertime Iseria team, I straight up do not ever want to fucking play the effect resist game against that bitch. Because she's more than likely going to have an obscene amount of effectiveness that's straight up going to like hit your 200 F-res like healers and shit. Now, no, I did not miss what just happened on screen. For the record, on turn 1 here, this Rand very well could have utterly fucked me. And the reason why is because, one, RNL procced, and the other thing that was lucky on my end was this guy wasn't rocking max crit. Why is that? Well, on the first hit that hit Spirit Celine, that was a non-crit that did somewhere around 3,000 something damage. Then the RNL proc happened and the single attack came out, which went into Spirit Celine, did like way more damage than the non-crit. So basically, if this motherfucker was rocking, you know, max crit, we would have fucking lost. Because more than likely, we would have been playing a catch-up game just trying to recover in the efforts of just trying to move on with it. But because our Spirit Celine didn't die on opening turn, we're able to use the S3 on Spirit Celine. Shazam! We have Possession buff up now, and with Possession buff, and with even a little bit of healing on your side, nothing really an Apocalypse Ravi can do about you. You were pretty much the ultimate counter to that team. Hurrah! Let's move on. So, I'm sure you guys are just as sick of this shit as I am. So yeah, Navy Captain Landy, ae-KARINA, and then I Conqueror Lilias. So it's like I just go to my go-to team because, quite frankly, I hate fighting this shit. And a lot of it is because I hate fighting ae-KARINA so much. Well, why do you hate ae-KARINA? Well, the biggest reason why is I feel like having ae-KARINA on the field just massively limits my options. Sure, I'm already using a Dark Corvus to go into the Navy Captain Landy, mainly because it's the safest option. But, I mean, hey, there's always that chance that you'll run into a Navy Captain Landy that's on a fucking injury set, and then as soon as you even get, like, 2 hits right here, Shazam, if that was injury, and I would have gotten, like, just 2 hits right then and there, I would have been reduced by maximum damage at least, like, by 20% or some shit, which is pretty bad, especially when we still don't have Soulburn yet. Case in point, against this mid-ass, you know, ae-KARINA, we only did 18k. Hey, turns out this one was 18,074. So because of that, we didn't fucking kill. Yeah! Now, I mean, I know I'm saying mid-ass, but like, nah, that looked like a pretty standard ae-KARINA to me. It's just, you know, typical normal stuff there. It's just, I hate fighting ae-KARINA because I feel like I have to bring Shuna into it. I have to bring some form of red bait into it because the damage that you take from her S3 is so fucking ridiculous. And then you compound into that on if or when, which they usually are, rocking her own artifact, which is Rocket Punch, which is a fucking stupid artifact. Like, I'm so sick and tired of all of the dumb shit that I see with Rocket Punch. And like, case in point, I use it the most. I use it on my Shadow Knight Pyllis on every single fight that I use her. The reason why I do is because it's effective. And then we also have Dark Corvus here. After we eventually deal with the ae-KARINA, then we just go into the Navy Captain Landy because I was feeling low-key kind of spooked by her. I didn't want to get absolutely murdered by counterattacks, and then we'll just edit ourselves forward here. And Shazam! We done! Yay, Dark Corvus plus 2 healers? Who would have thought? Now, this is a match that we should have fucking won. The reason we did not is because Lua is a bitch. So let's break it all down. So this is a Lua, a Abyssal Yufine, and another of these goddamn ae-KARINAs. So naturally, anytime I see a Lua setup, I usually like to go Shadow Knight Pyllis and then also Christy. The reason why I do that is because then this will direct all of the damage going into Shadow Knight Pyllis. Now, this would work. The problem is, and we're going to see this a little bit later, is straight up, the Lua does next to nothing for about 60 to 70% of the match. And then at the very tail end, some bullshit happens. And when the bullshit happens, you'll fucking know it. But basically, what our goal is, for now, We need to go into the ae-KARINA, kill that, because if we go into anything else, which straight up, we don't want to go into anything else, because the only other options are Abyssal Yufine, and anytime Lua does not have stealth, which straight up is just never going to happen. She's going to have stealth pretty much for the whole fucking match. So, our only choice is ae-KARINA. Why ae-KARINA? Well, if we go into any other units and they go below half health, then she's going to straight up give herself defense buff, as well as put barriers on the rest of the team. We straight up don't want that. So, let's just hard focus into her, and then we'll see if we can go ahead and kill her. Because as soon as we kill her, then all we'll have to deal with then at this point is Abyssal Yufine, and then just Lua any opportunity that we're able to go into her. Now, the big mistake that I ultimately made here, a lot of this was actually... it was actually just underestimating the Lua. Because normally, anytime I fight a Lua team, I can hard focus everything into my Shadow Knight Pyllis, and then everything is going to be fine. Now, as of right now, things are looking kind of dicey, because that dual attack from Abyssal Yufine happens. Now, the reason why that is a problem is because it gave Abyssal Yufine an extra attack. So now, the next chance she gets to attack, she's going to be at full fighting spirit. This is now pretty much accelerating where I need to go at this point. I think to myself, oh, I can wait one more turn on my Destina. And that's why I didn't heal that last turn. And lo and behold, we lost our 60% effect res because we were below 80% HP. We got hit with sleep. We can't use Shadow Knight Pyllis. And shazam, the one magic fucking thing happens. Destina just so happens to be hit with that cooldown reduction. Now we straight up can't heal. Yay! And because of that, we are doomed to fucking die. Now, the reason why is, shazam, big hit comes in. Now, this going ahead and just puts Christy in the front. Christy's going to get hit because she has the lowest health. Yufine's going to go in, kill it. And now, we don't have low enough HP on Shadow Knight Pyllis to actually direct the attack. And she goes into my Destina, just barely kills her, and I see this as no way to really win. So, let's just go ahead and give up and let's move on. Now, for this one, oh so wonderful fun match, Conqueror, Lilias, Urban Shadow, Choux, and a Navy Captain Landy, I see Urban Shadow Choux. This rat terrifies the ever-loving fuck out of me. So instead of like actually playing her bullshit game with her focus, because she is actually scary, I'm going to go ahead and bring Solitaria of the Snow. If you don't have Solitaria of the Snow, I hope you're good at racing. That's really all I have to say, because this unit is, one, fast, can give the entire fucking team speed buff, and can injure the ever-loving shit out of you. So what I decided to do is, I wanted to go with Lone Crescent Bellona so that we can hard focus into the Navy Captain Landy, because LOL anti-crit is a fucking mistake. And then we'll have Moon Bunny here, who strictly is going to counter the opening turn from the Conqueror Lilias. Then this way, our one light unit, who is actually the one we do not want to have hit, which is Solitaria of the Snow, she'll be protected by a skill null. Now, with that, we don't have anything to really worry about. So, right here, we were able to kill the Navy Captain Landy. Now all we have left is an Urban Shadow Choux without focus, and an Urban Shadow Choux without focus is really just... it's pretty much just an annoyance at that point. Sure, she'll still injure you really, really hard, but she won't be killing you really, really hard. That's the biggest difference, because anytime she has her focus and she's able to really go in... it's pretty depressing. Like, not even gonna joke, man. I hate fighting Urban Shadow Choux unless I'm utilizing some form of cheese in particular to go into her. I straight up don't like fighting her. I don't really even like using her all that much. She feels very, very cheesy. That's just how I feel about her, man. And I mean, yeah, she's effective. I've said numerous times I think she's the best injury unit in the game. But with that, there goes that match. Yay, let's just ignore the part where we died like a bitch. And now, for our last match, because quite frankly, I just didn't even want to fucking play this shit anymore. It was Christmas Day when I did this. I still had some cooking to do, and we still had to go and get some stuff done. Let's go ahead and go with Iseria, Shuna, and then Dark Corvus. I normally would bring, say, you know, Destina with me, but it's actually not necessary to bring Destina with you. Because, well, one, Destina's dead, and two, the other thing is, you don't actually need a cleanse here. Because we're not dealing with things like Conqueror Lilias. Instead, we're dealing with, being mid as fuck. That didn't kill the Abyssal Yufine. And of course, I mean, hey, it's to be expected. You're going through a Unbound Knight Arowell. I just figured, wow, I definitely thought for sure that this was going to kill, and it didn't. And I knew in the back of my mind, yo, this Abyssal Yufine's got fucking Holy Sack. I just know it. This bitch has Holy Sack. So I'll just wait it out, because we still have a healer on the field. We're not at risk of just losing by leaving her alive. But hey, the very next Devil's Descent that we get, and we're not going into anything that can provoke us, anything that can stun us, because LOL Dark Corvus is straight up immune to stun. Let's just continue to go into the ae-KARINA bit by bit. Hopefully we'll see any and all, like... well, see, this is where it is. I was kind of like fishing to see if this Yufine was on Elbrus or whatever, but I just knew in the back of my mind, yo, this bitch is on Holy Sack. I feel like Holy Sack has like become the new meta-defining thing that everybody's really running on Abyssal Yufine, and I don't fucking blame them for it. Holy Sack on a unit like this is kind of fucking cracked. But hey, now that we have the guaranteed kill for it, let's go ahead and just throw it in there. And I'm pretty sure it did say Holy Sack on there. I just happened to miss it that very brief moment that I was looking at it. But either way, now all we have left is ae-KARINA and Urban Shadow Choux. Now, the reason why Iseria is here, to those of you who may or may not know, she has an S2 on her. That S2 completely cools down any unit of your choosing. Makes her really, really good with things like Tam, and also with Dark Corvus, because they happen to start with, you know, like max cooldown already. And so if you were able to get rid of that cooldown, oh hey, Shazams, you can just kind of go in and have fun. So that's basically what we're doing. It's a matter of, hey, is Dark Corvus going to either get his S3 first, or is Iseria going to give it to him? And ultimately, we end up getting it back. So now, all we have to do is, let's go ahead and use the S3 on Iseria, get rid of that pesky-ass barrier, so that we can hopefully kill this thing. Because, quite frankly, with that barrier there, very good possibility we might not actually kill. And Shazam, Dark Corvus turn. Let's go ahead and Soul Burn this bad boy, kill the ae-KARINA, and then the only unit left on the field is going to be Unbound Knight Arowell. Unbound Knight Arowell into, say, you know, healing units, and with an Iseria, it's only a matter of time until you win. Now, let's talk about the most funnest match in the whole fucking game. Get ready, boys. We're going to be here for a hot fucking minute. So, Nahkwol on turn 1, doing all her annoying-ass shit, and thankfully, she happened to miss my Byblis. Now, the plan was to go in with Byblis and then get a counterattack from the Savior Adin, which does indeed happen. Now, I wasn't planning on my attack right here hitting the Savior Adin to then give defense break to everything, which, of course, it doesn't hit fucking, you know, Apocalypse Ravi, the one unit that I want to have it hit. But hey, we'll get to that little mess whenever we get to it. And then here's the only other risk. Hey, are you sort of cycling seasons or not? Shepherds of the Hollow, cool. We're not going to take extra damage. We'll just go into her, and then the very next turn that we get where we have S3 on Shadow Knight Pyllis, we'll go into her, and then we'll delete her. So, things are looking pretty good, no? Yeah, things are actually looking pretty incredible. We have, you know, Doris on the field. She's going to be tanking all the damage from the Apocalypse Ravi. We have Shadow Knight Pyllis, who's basically going to kill the other two units on the side. And then we have Byblis, who is hopefully going to respond to any and all counterattacks that the Apocalypse Ravi or the Savior Adin is going to do. So then we'll hit them with Death Breaks, and then Shadow Knight Pyllis will be able to kill them. So, like right here, we should be able to get our turns right here. We happen to get a pushback, so now Shadow Knight Pyllis can go in, kill that, and here we go. So, welcome to the fun, boys and girls, or as I oh so wonderfully put on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hell. Why is this hell? Well, this is very reminiscent of some very, very old school Apocalypse Ravi stonewalling. Now, the reason why this goes on for so goddamn long is because this Apocalypse Ravi is straight up not rocking a counter set. And because there's no counter set, we're not going to be getting any death breaks from Byblis at all. And yes, this was indeed 12 fucking minutes of unedited footage. So I was debating on if I wanted to actually shorten this and then to make it really, really short and then just move on to stats. But then I happened to find this really, really bitchin' cover of Planet Wisp in a night format that a dude on YouTube made. And I was like, you know what? I'll just put that on in the background, and I kind of wanted to show you my pain, because I was actually in kind of a hurry while I was doing this, and of course, I couldn't fucking auto this shit either. I couldn't do it. The reason why I couldn't was because I needed to actually manually observe, because anytime Shadow Knight Pyllis goes, she can straight up, provoke the enemy can then be provoked and go into her. You will see later on down in this that if you're not paying attention, you can almost die. I actually do almost die at one moment right in here because I was trying to get greedy and trying to get any and all damage that I possibly could. Now, what's the other big thing that we can learn from this, really? Well, a big portion of it is I really firmly believe we don't have enough anti-heal or unhealable mechanics that are in the game. And a really, really fucking big thing that we don't have is we don't have enough things that actually combat fighting spirit. Like, we have one unit that straight up just deletes focus, and that being Solitaria of the Snow. But we literally have no unit that actually just straight up only combats fighting spirit. There are literally two. One is Penelope, and that's only on her S3, and I straight up don't have mine built fast enough and like in a safe enough manner to where I feel like I could confidently use her. And then the other one is Zahak on specific EE, which I just think that's fucking dumb. Like, how the fuck do we not even have, like, some random-ass 3-star character with a passive that can fight this shit? You know what I mean? All we have is Penelope on her S3 who can do this shit. That's it. Which, oh boy. But hey, good news, boys. We're almost done. Because right here is where we finally get the opportunity. We go in, and are you ready for the best part? Yeah, I thought we were going to get fucking disconnected. Right then and there, I really legit thought we were going to get disconnected, and I was about to be fucking pissed. But either way, boys, that is the Guild War. I hope you rather enjoyed it, and I hope you guys had a wonderful Merry Christmas. I most certainly did. We spent a good bit of the day cooking. I made a bread bowl out of a sourdough bread bowl, and then I made a whole bunch of cheese to put in it, stuck it in the oven for 45 minutes, and bam, you got a fondue dip bowl. It was really, really good. And the only other thing that really went on this weekend, or this week, I know I've always said, like, I may have said on here, but I know I've definitely said it. I may not have said it on YouTube or not, but, like, I always talked about, like, how much I fucking hate Rift. Well, guess what? Because we had, during the Merry Christmas celebrations, where all of the buffs were available, I actually decided to jump into Rift, because I just so happened to get the one bottleneck that I was missing for the longest fucking time. That being 220 FRES on fucking Mascot Hazel. And because I have that, Shazam, I went from 0 RC all the way to, as of now, RC 19. And I am very close to, like, one tapping Rift per, like, each entry. So, I guess the one thing I can at least say is, when it comes to Rift, you know what? It's actually not that bad. The biggest thing that I would really say, and I really hope they do this, is for future content when it comes to Rift, maybe perhaps allow us to have the Rift effects, like the Rift mechanics, the things that you get at, like, RC1, RC8, or 10, or 15, or 21, whatever the fuck the levels are. If you at least had those, instead of just, more damage going into the boss, I think it would be highly, way, way more accessible, and the mode would actually be a lot more fun. But with that being said, boys, if you like this video, go on ahead and leave me a like. I would really appreciate it. If you want to see more of my content, go on ahead and hit subscribe. Later.